Terry Dixon contacted us on Facebook and asked how to solve water pump machine gun knocking. Now, we talked about pumps in a recent programme, and we mentioned these pumps, which I suspect is the type that Terry's got in his Caravan. They're called diaphragm pumps. They're fairly heavy and they're secured to a solid surface via rubber feet. And quite often the screws that hold it in place are too tight, so much so that when this operates, the base becomes a sounding board. And I think that's what the suggestion is about water pump machine gun knocking. The cure? Well, if you loosen these off so they're not compressed so much on the surface, that usually helps. Failing that, the rubber feet have been compressed too much, and it really is better to get some replacements and not to screw them down quite so tightly next time. Andy Goddard contacted us via Facebook and he said this: will somebody please clear up the maximum towing weights of cars? There is so much conflicting information out there. Well, yes, I understand the problem. I've just written a magazine article which goes into this in some depth and runs to 5 pages, would you believe? So I'll be much briefer than that now. Car manufacturers need to describe the towing capacities of their vehicles in respect of the engines. And of course you've got to pair car and caravan correctly, and you're not going to be silly enough to go out and buy a Fiat 500 car to tow a whopping great big caravan that's a twin axle job. Most people are sensible and get that right, but you still need to know if the engine has enough oomph to tow a caravan. And that is usually worked out by the car manufacturers, considering the caravan and the car have pulled to a stop on a hill that is 1 in 8. And the test is to see if the engine is powerful enough to pull it forwards and to get back on into action again. Generally speaking, apart from the silly examples I said earlier, no problem. But that's only one of the issues, is the power of the engine. What is a much bigger issue in many respects is the weight relationship between the car and the caravan. It would be terribly wrong if the caravan with all its gear weighed more than the car. It would probably be illegal, though it isn't written quite like that in legal terms. You must get the weights right, and it's in that match that you suddenly find that the power of the engine is irrelevant, and all those features that the manufacturers have said are important about starting on a hill fall into the background somewhat because you're having to check the weight of the car, what's called the curbside weight, and the weight of the caravan. Get that wrong and you're going to have a most unstable arrangement.